Wenz World, acknowledge your champion. This is no laughing matter. What do I look like Hugh to you right now? You better fire that fatty up in celebratory fashion of your champion. My friends, this is a sway. This is exactly what the midterms have called for. Your champion has been right twice now. Wenstown down, baby. Woo, it feels good to be right. Let me plug it in.
Booch, we are here for a number of reasons. Number one, obviously, is to celebrate your prediction champion. Two-time over prediction champion. Gosh, I'm more over than the Judgment Day right now, Booch. Let's go back. Let's discuss all things. But ladies and gentlemen, before we continue this celebration, I'd like to acknowledge the co-host here of the Male Soap Opera Moment, the one, the only, the Wrestling Encyclopedia. You might need to be updated. Vincent Kennedy.
Yes, we are fresh off Crown Jewel. And of course, yes, Wenz managed to become the champion and battle. I mean, retain the title. Yeah.
I want you to be very clear. Don't be like one of these lying politicians getting on stage and
whoa,
fake news here, Booch. You're the Wrestling Encyclopedia. Don't be fake news, Booch.
I don't give fake news, and I don't use the word fake. That's how much I love my wrestling. But I will say that yes, the Wenz is still the prediction champion in a fight that was. I'm gonna tell you right now, he has every right to gloat, but at the same time, this was a fight, ladies and gentlemen. This was a dog fight to get here. The last woman standing match was the deciding factor. Before that, it was literally Wenz got a point, I got a point, he got a point, I got a point. It was like neck and neck and neck all the way up to that match, and then he got the battle. So just know he won the fight, but he's got some black eyes and some marks on him. It was not easy. Let's know that. I ain't the only one with battle scars on this show.
Well, you know what they say. It ain't how hard you get hit. It's about whether you get back up or not. And I got back up. And what I'm ready to do is recap Crown Jewel. Dude, I gotta say, let's start it off with the last woman standing match. Literally, Booch, I thought both of these competitors were injured at least at a minimum a handful of times each. And it was just like, dude, they just kept coming. It kept doing their thing. And when they brought the ladders into the equation, and it was just so much. It was just so much. I had to watch it twice because I kind of dozed off the first time. You know how it gets, you know?
Yeah.
But I want your thoughts on this, Booch, because I have a very strange suspicion that this may have been, if not the favorite match of the night, the runner-up.
Yeah, it was definitely the runner-up. This was not my favorite match of the night, but I will say it was very creative and I liked it. You know, I was not a big fan of the finish for obvious reasons. Not just because I lost, not just because I wasn't able to get the belt back, but also because Bayley should have been champ. I think everybody can agree on that. Bayley should have won. Wenz made the right pick, but even though that was your pick, we can still agree Bayley should be champion right now. But unfortunately, it's not the case. I did like the creative way they ended it. I thought, because I'm sitting here going, why the hell are you bringing I usually hate when ladders are involved and there's nothing to climb up and grab. Unless you're the Hardys, you should not be touching the ladders for any reason other than you're in a ladder match. The Hardys are the only exceptions to the rule because that's their gimmick. That's their shtick. So I'm thinking, what the hell is this ladder doing here? Then I saw that she trapped her in the ladder, pushed it toward the turnbuckle. I thought it was brilliant. It was new. It was different. And with everything they've been doing, we reached a point where it had to end somehow. Like if that wasn't the finish, Bianca being locked, being put in the box should have been the finish. But I knew it wasn't going to be the finish because it wasn't locked. Like, I would love to have seen Bianca go in the box, Bayley locks the box, Bianca can't get out, and you ring the bell. And then after they ring the bell, the ref would have to go over and unlock the box so she doesn't suffocate. But it would have been a good finish for Bayley, because then Bianca could say I was ever pinned or tapped out. Because this is a top opportunity for Bayley to win the title without hurting Bianca Belair. But instead, they let her keep the belt for reasons that are making no sense to me at all. Like, what is the point in bringing Bayley back, giving her a faction, and letting this faction run roughshod when the leader can't get the title? How much longer do you want to drag this out for? It's ridiculous. So I didn't like the fact that Bayley lost, but as far as an overall match, it was fantastic.
Yeah, and I can totally understand the reason why you didn't like the finish. I mean, this would have been one of those matches, Booch, that like I could have lost the prediction on and been satisfied with the outcome still.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
But this was the match, the cornerstone of my victory celebration here, Booch. And
Yes.
I'm gonna keep on my victory lap here. Let's keep it moving.
All right.
Next match you want to talk about? Go ahead, my man.
Well, Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Why? This was a match that started off beautifully. It lasted 6 minutes, and that's all they would have needed. This didn't need to be a 20-minute destruction match, but I thought the finish was awful. The whole, like, I'm putting in the Hurt Locker, Brock leans back, he's stuck in the hole, he gets the 1, 2, 3, because apparently they want to add a third match to this, and my answer is, why? Why does this need a third match? And where are you going to put it? Are you going to put it Survivor Series? Do you want to drag this out till Mania? Why? There's no reason. Sure, go ahead.
Predict the best of 3?
Yes. You predict those.
And I said Lesnar, I got a feeling.
It doesn't make, but it makes no sense. They don't need a third match. This is pointless, but
see, that's the thing. They never need a third match, or sometimes even a second match with some of these rivalries, Booch. It's like, this rivalry hasn't made sense to me. Like, this whole thing where Lashley said, Lesnar's been envious of me for the last 13 years. Like, come on, man. Stop. Just stop. Like, that's not even true. And it's not even close to true. Like, come with something more personal. Like, these beefs, these fights need to be based on something more primal. Like a pride. Like, something happens backstage. Make it something we can see. I need something to build on. I need some backstage. Like, hey, man, Lesnar comes in and he has his cowboy hat and it's on at the back there at the snack table or whatever, or somehow it gets stepped on. Something happened. There's an infraction that's unaddressed, and those are the kinds of things that we used to see. Like, I want to see some simple writing. Start there. Start with simple and then work your way up. And I feel like they just push these things down our throats. And like, to your point, you could have done this in 60 seconds. Like, quick, melee in the middle of the ring, get a couple F5s, get an attempted hurt lock, Lesnar breaks out, throw it outside the ring, come back in, seal the deal, boom, on to the next promo package. Like, but to your point, and to my earliest prediction.
Yes.
Listen, it was meant to be, and we're going to see match number 3, and I hope it should quench this ridiculous rivalry. I don't know, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no telling with WWE.
Well, Lashley needs to win, and it needs to be in deciding fashion, because both men have victories over each other that are controversial. So the third victory needs to be clean, decisive, no BS. We have a winner, and obviously Lashley needs to be the winner because he's going to be sticking around longer than Lesnar. But that was a point for the Wenz. And then after that, we had Damage Control against Alexa Bliss and Asuka, and
I think we both got this one right.
No, I got this one. I think. Let me check.
I picked Damage Control.
We both picked them. Yeah, you're right. I double checked. Oh yeah, so we both got points on this one because we knew Damage Control was taking the belts as well. They should, and You got an early indication of that when Alexa Bliss and Japanese Gibberish were doing the promos, interview backstage, and you saw the Bray Wyatt moth thing pop up. So now there's talk of maybe like Alexa Bliss is going to be like when we saw the live action puppets, they were showing like the pig, the buzzard, and the witch and everything. People think Alexa Bliss is going to become the witch. And if you go back and watch from Extreme Rules, there's a little Easter egg that indicates it's Alexa Bliss.
I want to go back to the Easter egg that I saw of the whole Samson thing. Remember that thing that I tweeted you?
Yes.
They flashed a QR code. What were they doing with that? Has there been any? Was that a Bray Wyatt thing? Because I'm trying to figure that out.
Yes. They were trying to show. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was an indication of Bray Wyatt and something that he's planning to do. Because they're trying to think of like this. The Uncle Howdy thing might be a split personality, or some people say it might that it could be Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy doing something, because they noticed that there's an earring that Uncle Howdy has that's similar to Bo Dallas's earring. So unless Bray Wyatt put it in there to fool people, that could be Bo Dallas in that underneath that mask doing all the cryptic stuff. But if you look real closely at the witch when during the Extreme Rules return, she had 2 women's titles next to her, the Raw and the SmackDown women's championships. And Alexa Bliss is one of only a few women that have held both titles of women's titles in WWE. So Alexa Bliss could be the witch, because as Bray starts what people think are going to be his new faction with the live action puppet. So they're thinking that Bliss is going to be joining Bray Wyatt's group. And that was a little hint right there. But very, very interesting, and I liked that. So, yeah, Damage Control, great tag team match. Great finish. Damage Control got the win as well. They should. And then we had the cage. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross.
Stupid.
Yes. Why? I mean, I have some fans that didn't like this match. I particularly enjoyed it. I knew somehow the pepper spray was going to get involved. But I found it interesting that even though Drew McIntyre got pepper sprayed, he was still able to fight. Like, I don't know. Is he building up a tolerance to pepper spray, or is that some kind of like grit that now he can somehow fight despite the fact he's blind? Because I've never been pepper sprayed, but I don't know how I can continue a match after that.
I mean, it's obviously gimmick, but yeah. I think even in the gimmick head, like you have to, it's almost like, if you kick out of one finishing move, then you should be able to kick out of 2.
Yeah.
Kind of mentality. I mean, it doesn't work. It's stupid. Like you talked about last time, like if you actually legit got hit with some pepper spray from even, several yards removed from the actual canister, you would be on your knees.
Exactly.
She's like in his face, like soda pop, like in a cartoon.
Exactly.
Kind of, so that's where we're at with that. But yeah, and again, this is the path they're paving for Kross to make his run at gold eventually. And she's good for him. She needs to be there. So, and again, it's on the back of McIntyre, who unfortunately is in an unenviable position of being a monster without a cave to live in WWE. He's just like where Strowman was for so long. And of course we saw Strowman. He's been in action. We can get to that as well. But what's the next match you want to talk about? Well,
we mentioned them earlier. The Judgment Day and the OC. I thought it was a decent 6-man tag.
It's hard to do that too, isn't it? Isn't it
hard to
have a decent 6-man tag? Plus, you had a lady outside, plus a +1.
Yeah, it was just, once again, Rhea Ripley getting involved. Once again, to me, once Rhea Ripley gets involved, it takes me out of the match. I can't enjoy it at that point. It's still goddamn ridiculous to me that she's allowed to get involved and there's no repercussions, and it's getting pops. It bothers me because I feel like it buries the baby faces so badly. Now, granted, they've now brought Mia Yim back into the fold. So now she's going to be the female for the group that's finally allowed to like take out Rhea Ripley and solve this problem that they're not allowed to solve for reasons that I'll never understand on this planet, no matter how many times people try to explain it to me. But at least Mia Yim's in the picture. So hopefully this gets the OC back on their feet, because like I said, the Judgment Day could have lost this one, and I don't think it would have hurt them, especially if Dominic was the one to take the pin, because they're not doing much with him, and Finn's not taking any pins anytime soon because he's the leader and he's got that I Quit victory over Edge. So I felt like this was a good time for the OC to get back on track. I don't know what the plan is for Survivor Series, but like I said, this is a great match till the finish, and I can sum that up about a lot of matches on here.
And it's hard to, like you said at the very beginning, it's hard to have that 6-man tag match. And then, whenever Ripley's outside, she's going to have her hand in. And you're right. Once she gets involved, it's like, man, it's so easy to see. It's like, it's not even fun once that happens, because it's going to happen. It's like, when's it going to happen? She's going to affect the outcome, and she always does. And now, like you said, there's an equalizer in the mix. So let's see how that works. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this. Like, I feel like they could do so much more. And granted, they're probably, they have 3 hours to fill on Monday night for the Judgment Day, because that's where they're at right now on Raw. But they could do a lot more with the story. I feel like they could even tell a better story on the way to the ring.
Yeah.
Like, all these, like, they could do the subtle stuff that they were doing in the beginning. Like, I don't know how bought in Dominic is. Like, I don't see a struggle anymore. Like, there should still be a struggle with him. Like, at this point, when you want to tell the story, like, he should still, he's removed from his father and like all that, but there should still be moments where he's rethinking it. Like, I want to see that moment of doubt. Like, I want to see is he going to turn on Judgment Day? Like, that's the best when you wonder, like, and they're not even doing that. So I'm looking for them to really start digging their claws in deeper there.
Yeah. I think there needs to be like a more personal moment for him for when he really starts to get involved. Like, I feel like with Dominic, I think the plan is that and this is why they put Ray on SmackDown, is I think the goal is it's going to be Ray and Dominic at Mania. I think that's the WrestleMania match they want to have, because Ray's big thing is, I'm not going to fight my own son. So no matter what he says or does, he's not going to fight him. So I think, and I know this is something that Wenz is not a fan of, but I honestly think that this is the only way I can see Rey Mysterio being motivated to get into the ring and fight Dominic. I think his mom and his sister need to get involved in this storyline somehow. And I think they need to be the ones that try to be the voice of reason for Dominic, try to give him that conflicting story, because Dominic could say hell no to his dad all he wants. But I think if he saw his mom and his sister, maybe that might be the conflict. Like, the mom tries to pull him away or something, and then something happens where obviously he's not going to deck his mom or sister, but like someone gets shoved or something, or something happens where maybe Rhea goes nuts, whatever. And then that finally triggers Ray to fight Dominic. Because now once he like puts his hands on his mom, puts his hands on his sister, it's like, all right, he's far gone. Now Ray's like, I got to fight this. He's got to do something unforgivable to where his dad is like, I have no son and I'm kicking his ass at WrestleMania. Right. And then you have the Mania match. So I feel like that's the route they're going to have to go with that. So I feel like there's no other way you're going to put conflict in with Dominic, because he don't give a damn about the rest of the roster.
Sure.
So I feel like that's what they have to do. And I don't know if they're going to wait till the Rumble to drag that out, because that'll probably be the only time you see Ray and Dominic in a ring, assuming their entrance in the Royal Rumble in January. So that's the route I would take that.
Awesome. What's the next one you want to discuss?
I definitely want to talk about this one, not only because I love the match, but because I found out an interesting backstory to this. And I want to talk about Braun Strowman versus Omos.
Okay.
This was everything a big man match should be. I loved it. It was 7 minutes and 20 seconds. It was a fight. There was wrestling. There was working. There was storytelling. Everything was timed perfectly. There was no acrobatic bullshit. These guys had the fans on the edge of their seats doing basic stuff, proving it still works.
Yep. Basic. Start from the bottom and work your way up. It's not hard.
Yeah. They didn't have to do any crazy stuff. Even at one point, we looked like you thought Braun Strowman was going to dive through the ropes or something. Instead, what do? He jumped out of the ring, did that. He did that freight train move and almost just stopped him in his tracks. Those were great spots. It was amazing. Like, everything they did had a purpose. And when it got to the end, there was the victory and everything else. And of course, Wenz got a point for the Judgment Day.
Yeah,
I got a point for the cage match. And then this match was me.
Yep.
Again. So I got this one. And the backstory that I want to talk about, I don't know if people know this. Did you notice when Omos came to the ring, there was no one with him?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. MVP was conspicuously absent from this match. He was not in his corner. Does anyone know why?
No.
Check this out. For those of you who may not know, when MVP was younger, he was arrested for armed robbery. Some people might know this about his backstory. He is a convicted felon. He went to prison for 9.5 years. While he was in prison, he converted to the Nation of Islam and became a Muslim. So for most of his life, he believed in the Muslim religion. Well, a few years back, I don't know the exact time frame, he stopped being Muslim and is currently, as we speak on the present day, he is now an atheist. So he denounced being a Muslim and has since become an atheist. In the country of Saudi Arabia, not only is it against the law to renounce the Nation of Islam, but it is also a crime punishable by death in Saudi Arabia. So MVP did not come to the show for fear that if he came to Saudi Arabia, the Saudi government would put him to death for renouncing his Muslim faith.
Is it that well known, though, that they would know that?
No, I found this out through dirt sheets. I was going through dirt sheets, catching up on my news and wrestling, and someone said he could have faced the death penalty had he gone to Saudi Arabia, and that's why he wasn't in Omos's corner.
Okay. But I'm going to call a little bit BS on this. All right. Okay. I'm not saying it's BS that there's that penalty, because there's a bunch of weird laws over there, right? But do you honestly think that if he showed up, that WWE would let that happen? Like, they're bringing all that money to that prince. Do you think the prince who's a more of an agnostic prince, right? He's not like really applying Sharia law or any of that stuff to his people. Like, he seems like a pretty moderate fellow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't live there. But it's just based on what we see and what we hear, and God knows what the truth is. But with that said, come on, man. I'm just going to say it wouldn't actually happen that way. But he's smart, and WWE is smart to save face, because I think that's what the move was truly about.
Okay.
But not to say that, listen, not to say that it couldn't happen outside the arena, not to say that in the hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of whack jobs in every religion. So
exactly.
Just got to be careful. And over there, there's kind of like a reward for doing whatever the word says.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
So there was that. But they actually said it's a crime punishable by death in Saudi Arabia to renounce the Muslim faith. So that's why MVP wasn't there. Now, it could be the other reason that you said, but I'm just saying that played a role. It definitely played a role in why he wasn't there. So I when I found that out, I was like, because then I thought about it and I went, wait a minute, MVP wasn't there. I didn't even think about it till I saw this article and I went, holy shit. That's why MVP was not in Omos's corner. I mean, obviously he's now with them on Raw and stuff, but he did not come to Saudi Arabia. And I think that's part of the reason.
Right, I got 3 minutes. We got
okay. Go. Usos against the Brawling Brutes, stellar tag team title match.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this was amazing.
But we all knew what was going to happen.
Exactly.
I'm so sick of it, but I don't know if I say it again, will anything change? No. So but I'm still going to say it again. I am so sick of all of this bloodline nonsense. I'm sick of it. I can't stomach it any longer.
Yes, but we got to talk about that. But I will say the MVP of this entire show, they say acknowledge the tribal chief. Acknowledge Logan Paul.
Yeah.
He's not the champion, but damn if he did not put on the performance of the year.
Create some doubt.
Oh, God. In the match, like, there were so many times you thought he could have won, and if he had, nobody would complain, I would have think. You know?
I mean, there was a time where there was interference where he would have won the match.
Yes.
Like, it was, obviously it was written up, but you get it. Like, if they're booking it that way, they're booking him for the long term.
Yeah. And of course, Jake Paul, the only people who came out to help him, obviously. And some people were complaining about his punches looking phony, which they did. But I give Jake Paul a pass, and I'll tell you why. Because he pulls his punches for the same reason Ronda pulls hers and Brock pulls his. They can legit knock people out.
Sure.
So I think he's doing that because he doesn't want to. I think he's trying to be safe in the ring.
Same thing that Floyd Mayweather did with Big Show.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, I give people a pass on that because they're doing it for a reason. They're not trying to hurt the other person when they know they could. So so if you're a legit striker and you pull your punch and it doesn't look good, I give you a pass. But if you're an actual pro wrestler, no, you don't get a pass because you're learning how to throw working punches.
If you're Matt Striker, you get no passes.
Exactly.
All right, keep moving.
But yeah, Logan Paul, incredible. Loved his performance. Loved the selfie thing coming off the rope. It worked great for him because of his YouTube stuff and the fact they put the actual footage somehow still made it to the internet. I'm like,
I was gonna say I didn't know if I was like, what happened to the phone? Like, is the phone okay? Like, I need to see this. I gotta look for it. I'll look for it.
Yeah, it's on Logan. It's definitely on Logan Paul's channel. And I will say this: unfortunately, Logan Paul tore his ACL in the match, but still finished it. So I don't know how long he's gonna be out for. But I'll say this. Obviously, Logan's not the champion. He deserves it down the road. But here's what I would love to see at WrestleMania. I want to see the Usos face Logan Paul and Jake Paul. If Logan can make it, you make Logan and Jake the new tag team champions.
Dude, that's so awesome. Like that. Okay, we don't have time to get into that, but
we will next time.
That down on the next show. The possibility. Oh my gosh, you're talking about the next Hardy boys, dude. They're the next Hardy boys. Like,
and Jake can be a different type of worker where Logan can do all the wrestling. Jake can take the hot tag, come in and just brawl.
Yeah.
Because Jake Paul doesn't have to have the same wrestling skills as Logan. He just has to know how to work his own style, work his own way.
Uh-huh.
And I think as tag team champions, they would be phenomenal. And then when the time is right, give Logan the big one because he definitely deserves the big one after this. If you're still doubting Logan Paul, something's wrong with you because he just proved he is a star in wrestling. This guy belongs here.
In the ear, Booch. We got 1 minute.
All right. That's all I got to say. Logan Paul, star of the show.
What else? What did we miss? Did we get them all?
We got them all. We got every match.
Yeah, baby. And one last time for your prediction champion, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep it going. War Games coming up later this month. What, at the 20-something?
26th.
Oh, it's Thanksgiving that week, right?
The week of Thanksgiving.
Oh, man. We're going to have so much to talk about before then. We'll do a prediction show and a lot. I got to catch up. I got to see what's going on here on SmackDown. There's that I got to catch up on. Raws in the meantime, but we will never ever leave without saying a couple key things, one of which is have a nice day.
The other is bang bang.